Looking back at the Modern Warfare series and then Modern Warfare 3 in general, we can see that the Call of Duty community in itself is pretty notorious for making people want to quit their jobs. Looking at Modern Warfare, for example, basically Infinity Ward quit Infinity Ward. And then secondly, in Modern Warfare 3, the resignation of Robert Bowling. And now we've come to the point where the guy who's basically pushing all the buttons for Black Ops 2 multiplayer, David Vonderhaar, can't go anywhere without a bodyguard. It's unfortunate how it's become this way because it didn't start off like this. And I think it all comes from the way we look at the Call of Duty community in itself. Now, community, as far as my definition goes to the group of people that participate together in an organized action. In this case being, well, playing Call of Duty. And I guess everyone is a little bit responsible for why things have been happening, but there's a few standouts, and there's a few standouts that really seem to have more power over everybody else. Now, this video was inspired by two events. First, 2 nights ago, the date was given for the multiplayer reveal of Ghosts, and then a week ago was the Snipocalypse patch that basically enraged half the world. Actually, no, it enraged 90% of the Call of Duty community. And even though on a consistent daily basis, no matter what happens, David Vonderhaar gets death threats, it got pretty ridiculous over Twitter the day of the patch. And at least in the first hour after the patch, this was trending worldwide, and everyone decided that this was the perfect time to go and strike and kill David Vonderhaar for making a video game. Now, I don't understand. This video isn't really there to discuss the actual patch in its entirety. I watched Drifter's video and actually had some pretty nice points in there, and you can go watch it too. It actually discusses the patch fully. Now, the DSR-50 was nerfed more than the Ballista, but both the DSR and the Ballista were, in itself, their rate of fire was decreased, and also their sprint in and out times were increased. And this patch really seemed to make everybody lose their minds. Like, the Call of Duty community, we decided that after 2 weapons out of the whatever how many you have, I think it's somewhere around 60 you have to pick from, because 2 weapons were patched, everyone goes nuts. I don't understand this. This guy right here, David Vonderhaar, he's not even the only person that's developing the game. This idea could have been brought up by someone other than David Vonderhaar, who just goes around multiplayer collecting data. And I think this patch makes sense in itself because everyone that snipes, 99% of people use either the Ballista or the DSR-50. I can put money on this, that the reason they decided to make this patch is because those 2 guns were so overused compared to everything else. Now, in Drifter's video, he also pointed out some specific standout tweets from sniping clowns who apparently decided that this was the time to go back to Modern Warfare 3, screw Black Ops 2, sniping is now impossible. Good! I don't understand why everyone has to go nuts when just a single group of people who play the game with only 1 gun decide to go and threat people with death, rape, burning their house down, doing weird things to their family and such and such. I don't understand the basic concept of why is it that people who entertain you, people who make very standout games like Call of Duty, deserve to be constantly so afraid for their lives that they can't go anywhere without at least 1 bodyguard. This guy, David Vonderhaar, he's actually not the only person who works and makes Black Ops 2 what it is. He's not the only person. However, because he's the guy that's kind of been considered as the face, he's not even technically the lead multiplayer developer, he's not technically the lead community manager, but because in his high status in Treyarch Studios, he's basically the guy that pulls the switch on everything, because that's who he is. And he makes a game that outsells absolutely everything every single, well, 2 years, technically speaking, because it's Treyarch. He gets, like, assaulted with just billions and billions and billions of people, actually no, millions, who just want to kill him for some strange reason. Like, for God's sake, he's the guy that makes the game that you are going to buy, whether you like it or not. There's some sort of masculinity in you. Some of the testosterone in your body says, I must get Call of Duty even though I hate it. And then he makes that game, you buy it, and then you just yell and scream and keep playing it. I don't understand this. Now, if we look at just Call of Duty in general, people have been really asking for remakes of Call of Duty 4. But then the single most common complaint you hear from people that play Call of Duty is that you get the same thing every year. Where's the logic behind this? If you want the same thing, don't complain about the same goddamn thing. If you want something different, don't ask for something the same. I don't understand this logic. People are, at least who are working there, are trying to make the game different, I guess. They're trying to make sure that people don't use the same two weapons the entirety of the game. That's kind of what Modern Warfare 3's fault was. It didn't patch any of the weapons that were considered overpowered or overused. It didn't use that tactic. Instead, Modern Warfare 3, what they were doing is they were, for the entirety of that 1 year, trying to fix lag. Where did that get us? Nowhere. Because people still complained about lag. People still, Modern Warfare 3, the lag is exactly the same as it was in the beginning of the game. Literally, there have been no patches that have completely fixed lag. Because the only way you could fix peer-to-peer lag is to get rid of peer-to-peer. You could either tell everyone, to play this game, you must have 100 megabytes per second internet, or the servers will not let you on. Or you can make dedicated servers. This is a decision completely separate from fixed lag. Because peer-to-peer lag will always exist no matter what. It's been there, will always be there. It's just that in Call of Duty 4, no one noticed it because everybody sucked at the game. And now that people are actually into the game and they actually care about their skills and every millisecond counts, now people for some reason start to notice the lag. And many issues other than this have been brought up. But Black Ops 2 is this one game where they consistently patch the weapons themselves. If you look at the game itself, if you somehow find stats, the ratio of guns being used opposed to other guns is the most even they have ever been before. I'm not saying this game is great, I'm saying this game is a standout, because it's the first Call of Duty that has done this. Now, I haven't played Call of Duty in a fairly large amount of time in Call of Duty days, I guess. And I guess I won't go back until the Vengeance map pack drops for PS3. But I can say this, that by playing other games, I've realized that other things exist other than Call of Duty. Why is it that now we get more complaints than ever? Because people have literally been sitting down and for 8 months playing the same goddamn thing every single day. And now for this certain reason that people are still working on this game, they're being threatened with death, with rape, with harm to their property and things like this. They work for you. They're the people who are trying to give you at least an enjoyable experience. For all you know, they could just quit, stop making Call of Duties, and then you're going to sit down on your couch and cry because you have nothing else to play. This is what the Call of Duty community has become. This arrogant bunch of people who want the same thing every year, but complain about getting the same thing every year, and then complain, and then keep playing the game that they're complaining about. This is what the Call of Duty community has developed in the whatever, I think, 5 or 6 Call of Duties that have been made with at least clear multiplayer intentions. And it's unfortunate that this is how it's become because there's no logic behind it. I don't see any reason for why 2 weapons that have been somehow nerfed can cause just an extreme spike in threatening to kill the person that possibly could have stopped this patch. I don't understand. Play the game and frickin' enjoy it. If you don't enjoy it, play a different game, but stop complaining about it because it's not going to get you anywhere. You've complained since Modern Warfare 2 or World at War or some shit, and nothing's happened because quite literally the developers can't fix it. This is a job for Activision, and this is a job for the very owners of the game who can say, we are going to get rid of peer-to-peer and we are going to put in dedicated servers. And then still sometimes lag will be there. I play Battlefield 3 and lag is there. All you know in dedicated servers compared to peer-to-peer is that you're going to get a consistently good or bad connection. In peer-to-peer, it can fluctuate at times, and sometimes it gets the best of you. That's the only difference, because we're playing in a world where people across America and people from Toronto, Ontario can play with people from Osaka, Japan, for all I care. And in this kind of world, you can't have instantaneous events for everybody who's playing the game. One person is going to have an advantage because there's no other way to communicate with each other than the internet. And so to fix lag, step 1, get rid of internet. Step 2, tell people they need to pay ridiculous amounts of money to actually play the game. Or 3, just remove the concept and the mechanics of the game altogether and make a new game and say, we are going to have dedicated servers with a speed of 500 megabytes a second, and if you don't have this, fuck you.